Wait, hold on.
You're live, man. Let's go. We're on. People are looking at us like these donkeys look like two dudes that don't know what they're doing.
Should I click the open or should we just roll?
You know what? Why don't we click the open so I can drink a little bit?
All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
We're back after a little, I've clicked produced. I've clicked the buttons multiple times in my life running shows. And I don't know what's going on. I missed that one. That's on me. We are back, though. MLB show. Hope you guys having a great Tuesday. 10 games, Gyiraszin. 10 games. Very good over here. Feels like a lot of these slates we've talked about, a lot early in the year, broken up, a lot of early games, late games. So you and I have had some split slates, some 5-gamers and stuff, where it's been pretty gross. Today's a good slate, man. Hitting, pitching. I think there's options all over the place. Ownership should be spread out a good bit. Throw it over to you to kick it off. How's your Tuesday going? What do you think of this slate?
Man, I'm doing good. Hey, you were talking about the beginning there. You got to play that song, man. Get you going there. You know, it's a good little intro. I like it. But hey, we got, man, after that ugly ass slate last night, I mean, damn, you had to have basically like a blind dart throw kind of team last night to even win. It was stacks were shitty. Glasnow got his ass kicked. But hey, Title, how many times have we been seeing these chalk pitchers that everybody's paying up for getting slaughtered so far this year? It just seems to be the trend. But man, this slate here is definitely interesting. I think today's like basically play whatever you want. We haven't really had that yet where, the masses aren't getting funneled to certain ways. And I think today there's maybe 5, 6, 7 pitchers that you can legitimately have an argument to play today. I think there's some good spots for some offenses today. We got a few games over 9 total. So kind of excited to see what you think. I'll be honest, I don't even really have it narrowed down to where I feel good about what I got. I think there's so many different options. So I think, for me, you just got to basically lock in what you like, kind of figure it out. That's what we do here at SHIPIT Nation. We kind of teach you how to build your lineups, do everything else. And I think there's a lot of ways we could go here today. So, kind of excited to see what you have. Excited to see what everybody's got to say in the chat, too, as we roll along, which is kind of cool, too, which I like to see. Our Discord, too, at SHIPIT Nation is always hopping right before, all kinds of good, good pieces of advice from our members. So definitely good place to be over here at SHIPIT. But man, I got me a high noon title. Man, it's 70-some degrees out here in Michigan. Man, it's no better than had a great Masters week. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of winners. Man, we shipped another Millie, man. That is freaking awesome. I took a little bite in the ass there when Morikawa dropped. It cost me a few thousand, but hey, I still had an overall fun sweat all weekend. It was great. Man, as everybody said, we got the best golf content here overall by far here at SHIPIT Nation. I'll tell you, man, DGen75, when he did his emergency podcast, man, that was the best damn podcast in DFS history. Amen. And I've been watching podcasts for 10, 15 years, man. I had tears in my eyes. That guy had me. I was in a restaurant after bowling getting a carry out, and I'm standing there. I got a tear in my eye for the guy, and I'm like, fired up, cheering like, hell yeah, this guy, man, he's just fearless, man. And that guy inspires me. So to see all that, and he gave me a few golfers that helped me kick some ass in my teams. We all kicked some ass. I mean, man, it was phenomenal, man. I had a great time, man. Winners all over the place, man. I know you guys had some fun with some UFC and Title. I got to give you some props, man. I appreciate you stuffing them cores in that site for me. I was stuck at a Polish bowling tournament 3 hours from home, and it was like an all-day thing, man. And it was like an all-day thing of drinking. I thought, man, I can bring my computer, set it up. The Wi-Fi, I might as well have been in stinking China underwater. It was like freaking terrible. But, man, I still had a lot of fun. But, hey, excited here to break down some baseball here today. And no Modelo's. You know what? I drink the Modelo's. I sure do. But when I'm day drinking, I pull out the high noons. It don't give me the heartburn and don't feel as bloated and all that fun stuff. So little easier on the old esophagus I have because shit, man. If I think about some of them beer, especially with them limes in them, man, lately, it gives me some heartburn. But I do love me some Modelo's. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but hey, you don't want high noons with no heartburn or Modelo's with heartburn. You take the high noons every single time. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Let's pull up this golf screenshot first because absolutely insanity this week. First of all, yeah, DGen. I mean, chemo all day, surgery just last week before, multiple things of chemo, and then hops on and still brings that same energy, picks winner. I mean, it was such an amazing show. You got that absolutely right. And man, did our members benefit from the week with Hoop, Tambo, DGen, The Stone, all of our content. Mark started off round 1, 20K, winning showdown. You see turn right there, the $1 million. We also had third and fourth place. Scarface, we're going to talk about 4 deep in a sec. He took fourth. And then JWC, I believe, high stakes guy, been in the industry for a while, founding family member over here, took third in that as well. So SHIPIT was all over the leaderboard. You see Q Smat right here for 100K, another 125K for Mondo. I mean, there's just no better, not even close, golf team in the industry than we have at ShipItNation.com. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, I hate doing this too much. Some people are charging the same price for MMA as you can pretty much get for all of our sports. If you do an annual package here, you can get every single sport for the same price. Some people are just charging MMA. So that's all I got to say there. And it can only get cheaper. If you do want to head over and join us, we do just have MLB only. If you just want MLB in the summer, no golf, no NASCAR, no MMA, etc. You see the prices up there, weekly, monthly, season long. You can also use MLB 15 on monthly and season long to drop that even further. If you want all the sports, use the promo code HOOP15. Gets you 15% off. $69 a month comes down to like $58. $59 a month for the 6-month package comes out to like $50. Then the annual package, $49 a month, comes out to like $42 for the annual package. Again, some people are charging that just for one sport out there. So use that promo code HOOP15 if you just want to try us for the week. We do have weekly packages as well. No Discord, no promo code, but still $24, very cheap, all access to the site. And I want to say, very excited to announce, we've talked about 4 deep for a while. They had betting in DFS. They closed down their DFS arm, sent the members over here. If you guys want to check out sports betting, our shows, all of our MLB shows will be sponsored by 4 deep now. Neely, Tommy G, Scarface, all the guys over there focus just on betting. That's why they wanted to bring over the DFS people over here. They want to put their full attention to betting. You can see right here, if you want to give it a try, we do have a promo code SHIPIT, gets you 20% off. They have education, they have process, similar to what we do over here. They're not just trying to give plays, which they obviously do that as well. They're trying to teach about their process as well. You also, if you're a ShipIt Nation member, you can do it for 1 week for free. Again, you have to be a member for that. 1 week for free in the sports betting channel in Discord. You can check that out. Again, 1 week free, 20% off from there using the promo code SHIPIT. So make sure you check them out. Again, shout out to them. Shout out to Scarface, Healy in the Discord, helping out a lot. There is sports betting tabs in there as well. Enough of that, Gyiraszin. Let's talk some baseball. 10 games on the slate. I will say very likely could be 9 games. Kansas City Royals, Chicago White Sox, the only weather game on the slate. Orange red. We talked about it last week. When we see red, don't love it. I'll monitor it all the way up until lock and etc. Like Brady Singer would be interesting if we could play him. I'm assuming right now 10 games cut down to 9 games, though. Gonna say hi to people in chat. Get your slate breakdown, and then we'll go to the pitchers. Mike Spencer's in here. Jay Steele's in here. Brian, what's going on? Lyle, Jake, Gator Nation. Hey, Gyiraszin got the most legendary backdrop in the tout game. I agree. Absolutely agree. Pairby's in here. Gator Nation. Lance, Pairby. I already said Pairby. Nades, I had to throw the hat on. The Dodgers, Patrick Corbin, the gift that keeps on giving. We'll get there at the end. Kenny's in here. Squid's in here as well. Brian in here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Hey, Zach, do you think I should roll out slow-mo tonight? You're talking hoops? Minnesota? What? Slow-mo. You're talking hoops tonight? Rio's got the slate plan up. Isn't it Pelicans, Lakers, and hold on.
Pelicans, Lakers, Kings, Warriors.
Yeah, so slow-mo's not even playing today.
I think
confused.
Man, the NBA wants LeBron and Curry, but man, I think the Kings are going to shit all over that plan.
Yeah, Brian, let me know what you mean by slow-mo. Like Kyle Anderson on the Timberwolves, I was like, I don't think they're playing today. So, yeah, let me know about that. Hope you're doing well, though. Let's talk some baseball, Gyiraszin. Again, story, if I go broad slate overview, I think there's multiple pitchers. Actually, I'll say them right now. 4 pitchers, I think, to be exact, on DraftKings that all get a good bit of ownership. We'll go from highest price. Logan Gilbert at 9.5, Hunter Green at 9K, Jared Jones at 8.5, Lance Lynn at 8.4. I think those are by far the 4 most popular pitchers on the slate. Anyone outside of them, probably contrarian. Now, when we're talking bats, I mentioned the Dodgers, Patrick Corbin, the night game, definitely going to get some ownership there. Chicago, Arizona, another late game, very high total. It probably will be inside in Arizona. It's pretty hot. It's like 90 here. Maybe they'll leave the roof open. Regardless, though, 10.5 total. So we have Dodgers, we have Arizona Diamondbacks, we have Chicago Cubs. That's the story of this slate when I'm talking chalk. Any initial thoughts, or do you want to get right into pitcher?
Yeah, it's a very good slate. I mean, like I said, this is one of the first ones I feel like there's many paths that I feel that, got a clear path to get up to the top. There's a lot of good pitching here today. You can mix it up a little bit. Got some good bats in different situations. It's starting to get warmer a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit more information too, as the season here progresses, which I like. There's just some things, we can pay attention to, maybe find a little bit of edges here that might be able to help us. But there we go. Roof open in Arizona. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brand.
Hell yeah. Thank you for that. But yeah, kind of excited to dive in, kind of see what, everybody thinks here. But man, this is a good slate. I think there's all kinds, like you mentioned already, one of them, the Patrick Corbin, the gift that keeps on giving. We got a couple guys that, in some decent spots here pitching today, which, we could look at. But, like I mentioned, man, title so far this year, that chalk pitcher has been getting their ass kicked. So
let's
get
into
definitely
it.
Something. It almost feels like you got to just leave the top layer of the onion, just peel it off and just see what's underneath. Because, man, that top of the layer there has been getting their butts here whooped.
Well, let's do it. Let's see if you like any of these fade chalk pitchers. Again, DraftKings FanDuel is definitely going to be a little different today because of the 2-pitcher site. I still think on FanDuel, pitchers kind of going to be spread out, though. Like, nothing stands out in a tier of their own. Like Dylan Cease on DraftKings all the way up there in price at 10.7. I don't think people get to him much. FanDuel 9.5, though, better price. So he's going to get a little more ownership over there. But, yeah, let's get right into pitching. Phil, how do you get 5 homers, go up $300? Yeah, I don't know. That's tough scenes. That's probably a flagship tournament. Do we need to sack 5-3 on a big slate? I'll just answer that, and then we'll get to pitching. I don't think you ever need to go 5-3. I always like the 5-2-1s, the 5-3s, etc. I also think like 4-4 is fine, or 4-3-1. I don't think you have to be too hard about the rule. I mean, you see all the time. Rio posted in the Discord either yesterday or I think it was yesterday, like the weirdest team of all time. Nats pitcher, 2 Dodgers against them, 5 one-offs. Like, that's baseball. You can see that on the winner. You're just parlaying a bunch of homers. The easier route, though, pick a team, pick 2 teams. When they put up a crooked number, you have a way better chance to get all those points. So I still think it's a 5-2-1 slate, 5-3, 4-4, etc. I always will prefer to stack. Let's go pitcher Gyiraszin. Let's go DraftKings pricing. And let's go – yeah, we'll go all the way 8K and above. Again, Dylan Cease all the way in a tier of his own at 10.7K. I think he's an interesting contrarian option because we know he has a strikeout upside, 7.5K prop, plus 100 on the over. However, the Brewers have definitely been playing good baseball. However, game theory-wise, because of his price, especially on DraftKings, and with how the Brewers have been playing, he's going to be lower owned for sure than Gilbert, Hunter Green, Jared Jones, Lance Lynn. I mean, I'll throw it to you right on that. Like, Ronaldo Lopez, I don't really have interest. Whitlock, I don't have interest. Bybee, I don't know. I don't guess maybe not the craziest thing, but comparing him to these other 4, he looks a lot worse. Can't play Singer in the weather game more than likely. There's just not too many options. So, yeah, Lynn, Jones, Green, Gilbert, Cease. Touch on those 5 and anybody else 8K and above.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'd be going. I mean, obviously, you're looking right at Lance Lynn staring you in the face. You look up, well, who do we got? Who are we going to attack? We always look first, who's Oakland playing? Because they suck. So we might as well just obviously look there. Lance Lynn, obviously, has been, strikeout pitcher here last game. What he had 20 points, which we like. In 94 pitches, 83 pitches, he's gone up each start around. So we know he's stretched out. I like that. He gets the A's. I mean, the guy does give up some home runs, sure, but definitely like me some Lance Lynn here, 24% K rate. I just like attacking the A's. I just think the A's can't put it together. They got a lot of strikeouts in that lineup there. So for me, Lance Lynn is probably a guy that I'm going to be looking at as one of my favorite pitchers here today. So, just look here. I just want to double check something. So I wanted before, I didn't want to speak here. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dudes out of the 9 projected lineups at over 23% or higher, in the K rate here against righties. So Lance Lynn for me stands out number wise. So obviously on DK, you're going to need 2 pitchers. I like Lance Lynn quite a bit, especially on FanDuel today. But then you move up. I mean, then you're got to be kind of intrigued by this rookie here, Jones, here going against the Mets. I mean, the guy's just been firing spitballs here recently. I mean, he's got 8Ks, 7Ks, 10Ks. I mean, if you're telling me I can get a guy at that price that I'm going to get 7 or 8Ks out of, I mean, how do you not? I mean, and this guy keeps up another, a start or two. He's a very high ranked pitching prospect. He's coming in. I mean, I think this kid, maybe we need to get on him before it's too late. I mean, he's already had a few good starts. That's what I've been asking myself. Like, I think there's so many different ways and different options we got here today. I think that Jones is definitely interesting. I think he's got a great win equity. Quintana on the other side sucks. I think they should be able to get the job done there for these hot Pirates here this year. Hunter Green, I think he's interesting. I mean, what kind of Hunter Green are we going to get? And then you go up to Cease. I don't know if I can get up to the 10-7. I think there's too many good options here today. Too many good hitting spots. I think today, when you were talking about the stacking title, I think today is a day with as many games. I think stacking's more important on a big slate that you have too many teams with an opportunity to score runs. So on a bigger slate like this, 10 games where you got 4 or 5 games, 3, 4 games that are 9 or higher, I think stacking's a little bit more important on a slate like this when you're looking at it than maybe a 4 or 5 game slate when you got a bunch of games with 8 totals. Then maybe you can mix it up a little bit, maybe play some more one-offs. But I think stacking is a lot more important, especially in slates like this, and especially as we go into the summer when you're going to start seeing some big totals. Like, I think there's 4 or 5 teams that could put up, 10 runs here today. So, if you're on the 2, you're obviously going to ship. But I think stacking today in a slate as we're starting to, get a little bit warmer as we're getting into a little bit more in the season here, a couple weeks in. So, it's not those cold day games that we're seeing 40 degrees and, most of the games here in the 60, 70 degrees. So definitely something to be, thinking about here. But as far as, Gilbert, I think that's interesting. But for me, man, I think Jones and Lynn are my 2 favorite here today, title. Like at this point, I'm willing to take a shot on Jones here. I mean, just because I think 6K is going to be bad today. I think I'll take it. And I think Lance Lynn is about as safe as you're going to see today, just because he's got a matchup against the A's.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely in agreement with you on all of them. To be honest, I'd have Jones last of those 4, just because I think there's more risk. Like the walks, I mean, he's only 3 starts in. The walks in the minors, a little controlish. He's one of the best pitching prospects, but he's been very efficient, very good control so far in these 3 starts. I think that probably regresses a little back to the mean. And the pitch count, he hasn't thrown over 90 pitches, whereas Gilbert, Green, and Lynn can get extended out. So I just feel a little better about them. Again, you're picking you're picking hairs between these guys. You look at the K props though, 6.5 for Jones, plus 120 on the over. Again, 7.5, pretty much even money. 6.5 for Lynn, plus 110. So he has a better K prop for just 100 cheaper. Gilbert, Hunter Green in the same game. And these are my 2 favorites. 8.5 for Green, plus 125 on the over. Logan Gilbert, same as Cease, 7.5, plus 100 on the over. Give me Seattle. I love targeting pitcher duels in Seattle. Did it all the time last year with Luis Castillo and whoever was in town. Dude, Gilbert's been insane this year. The strikeout numbers are there. He doesn't walk batters. If it was in Cincy, I wouldn't love it as much, but I like the pitcher duel. Hunter Green, flamethrower. We know the upside there. I love Logan Gilbert. I think there's plenty of salary relief at bats that you can easily fit 9.5 and 9K. I love Lynn too. I don't know. Lynn might be the highest owned. It's going to be close. I don't have a strong lean on the ownership there, but Oakland, a matchup you definitely want to attack. In Oakland, a park I love to play, 8.4K. Yeah, there's really not many bad things to say about Lynn other than it's Lance Lynn, and he definitely can give up power. You know the floor is pretty low, but he strikeouts at 8.4K. I'll say on FanDuel, I think he'll probably be the highest owned because at 8.4, Green's 9.9 for 1,500 more. Cease is still more at 1,100. Jones is 9.7, which is 1,300 more. So you do get more of a discount from Lance Lynn on FanDuel compared to the rest than on DK. So I think I'd actually rather get away from Lynn on FanDuel if I had to pick, and I'd rather play him on DK.
100 Greens K prop 8.5. I mean, that's pretty juicy. I think too. Like you mentioned, I love me some two pitchers, good pitchers dueling it out. I think, that. Like yesterday, like with Glasnow and that Walker kid yesterday, I thought, this kid, is another prospect that was pretty good. Like, does this kid come out and, keep up with, a Glasnow first time through? And man, he pretty much did.
He was on the winner.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, I do like that. I like when like Gilbert and Green, that could be a good way too. If you bet it, you could always hedge it too by betting it over, if you really wanted to. But yeah, I think that definitely would be a way to go here to have those two. But man, I mean, for me, Title, I definitely like that Jones kid. And I think Lynn is a little bit more safer. So I just feel like in my brain, maybe it's just that I feel that Lynn is pretty safe. I should be able to, get value out of him in the matchup he has today. And I know I'm taking a little bit of chance there. So maybe I'm just kind of like balancing it, where, and I get a discount there where I'm not paying up for either two guys sitting there at 8K. Over on DK. But yeah, on FanDuel, Lance Lynn stands out for me. There might be another guy too you could go down to. We'll get to here as we go through these games. But yeah, definitely like me some I definitely like me some Lance Lynn here today.
I like it. Let's go down. See, I'm very curious on what you're going to say because I think pitching, again, we don't really need salary relief enough. Like there's enough cheaper bats, 9 games on the slate, even if the game's canceled. I want upside. Like I want 20 plus for my pitcher today. I think at least 2 guys are putting that. I don't want 14, even if you are only 6.4K or whatever. My guy down here is Kikuchi. Do I love it? No. He's going to be pretty low owned though. I want 20 though. He can get you 0, but if someone's going to get you 20 plus down here, 7Ks or whatever, Kikuchi has that upside. There's some strikeouts in this Yankees lineup. 6.5K prop. Pretty good for Kikuchi. Actually, it was 6.5, 5.5. Let me check. I just had it up. Now I'm doubting myself. 5.5, 130 on the over, excuse me. Still very solid when you compare him to the other people in this range down here. Just a GPP play. The floor is definitely low. Like it's one of the spots if you want to play Yankees. Kikuchi can get blown up. I don't think that's the craziest. I side with Kikuchi on this slate. But if you want to just play those 4 pitchers or pick 3 of those 4, I don't know. I want you to talk about Cease too. So talk about Cease because what are you fading him? FanDuel is a lot more closely priced to those other ones. DraftKings, he's a contrarian spend, I think is fine. I touch on him. I might have missed what you said. Kikuchi is my guy down low just for upside, but I don't like these cheap guys. So I guess JP Sears, people might say, Jose Quintana, break it down below.
Yeah, Cease for me, I mean, he's definitely interesting. He's had 2 games in a row with 7 strikeouts. He's been over the 6 innings. That's what you're looking for on FanDuel. And at 9,500, he's definitely, as you mentioned, going to get more ownership over on FanDuel. DK paying up like that 10-7 is definitely going to hurt. I think Title today, I'm kind of thinking I need to pay down a little bit in some pitching today to be able to get some bats I want. I want to be in that 8K range, on FanDuel. I might be able to get up to Cease. Not a bad, not a bad play there. I can't argue with you. I think I'm just happy with what's just a little bit below him. And I've been playing with more of my bats here today. So definitely like that matchup. I can't argue. I think, like I said, more so on FanDuel. But as you mentioned, just diving down a little bit below the tier that we were talking about. For me, I mean, it's going to be tough for me to play Kikuchi. I don't play enough teams for me really to get there. I can understand, why you may want to go there. I mean, as you mentioned, you get 0.
You play more FanDuel too. FanDuel,
I would never get there on FanDuel. I mean, I'm not looking for it on FanDuel.
No.
But I do think JP Sears is interesting for sure here today. And reason being, I mean, man, these Cardinals have just been awful here lately. I mean, they're like almost bottom of the league here in slugging percentage so far this year. You know, he's been up in the pitch count here. He's up in the 90 range pitch count. Man, I'm just attacking, you know, the matchup here with the Cardinals. And I think JP Sears is a guy that we could look at on both sides. If you want to really pay down in pitching, if you want to get a little crazy. Now, if I'm only playing one or two teams, you know, I'm probably not going to get to JP Sears, maybe on DK, but you know, I think that is about as low as I'd go. But you're right. I think for me, I got to stick up with the, you know, the guys, you know, that we were talking about earlier, the Lance Lynn's, the Gilberts, the Hunter Greens. You know, these guys up there, Jones, are my top guys. I got Cease maybe a little bit below them. But for me, Sears is up there. For me, is about the lowest guy, you know, end guy I'd play. Kikuchi, maybe if you wanted to think about that, you could go there. But, man, I really don't have any interest in anybody else on this slate pitching. I think there's, you know, enough good bats here today that I'm going to want to pay up. But, yeah, for me, JP Sears is definitely interesting. Like I said, Cardinals bats just been just shit so far.
Yeah, no, I like it. 4.5K prop, solid juice on the over, minus 145. I do think if people do punt pitcher, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't worry about ownership too much. People are going to play those top four. What about any like Ryan Yarbrough interest, Carlos Rodon? I mean, I don't know.
No,
I'm just trying to throw out names down here. I mean, what about Yarbrough? Like the win should pretty much be free. Can he get you 5 innings?
I mean, he hasn't got there yet. The most he's got is 4.
Yeah,
you know,
so I guess the win's not free because you need the 5.
So
let's move on.
I'm not going there, especially on FanDuel. So, you know, just going through the chat, as I mentioned, you know, Singer season.
Weather.
Yeah, that's the weather. We got an orange-red situation there. So,
but
we kind of expect, but, you know, hey, if there was no weather, man, I think Singer would be, you know, definitely up in the, you know, top of the heap here. But it looks like there's some shitty weather there. It looks like we're not going to get that one in unless the weatherman blesses us with a different story from what I've been seeing. Now, hey, we got to say, though, Tito, I just read Kevin Roth is been taking a little leave of absence. So he does have a different guy in there. I think this is like his first go around. So, you know, we're going to give him the rope until he fucks up one time. And then, you know, everybody's going to bitch at him now we do the weather guy. But, man,
we don't promote we don't promote that. We don't promote.
Spot on.
Yeah, they do very good. We don't promote bitch. Hey, at the end of the day, if there's any bit of concern, you can easily fade it. There's plenty of other good games on the slate, so we don't ever put blame on other people. I know you're messing around. Yeah, that's pitching. Let's go top 3. I'm going to go game stack of Gilbert, Hunter, Green. I'll go Lance Lynn. It's chalky for sure. Jones would be the 4th of the list. Yeah, I guess Kikuchi would be my low-owned option. I think there's plenty of other bats. I think eating chalk at pitching and getting different at bats is the route I'll be going. However, you mentioned top of the show, hasn't been working out too much this year. So, yeah, what are your top 3?
Yeah, you're right, man. They really have not been working at all, man. But Lance Lynn for me, number 1, obviously because of that matchup. I got to go there, especially over on FanDuel. I got the kid Jones, too. I just think the upside's there. I mean, this kid can maybe get us 10 Ks. So definitely like that one there. And then I'll go Hunter Green just because he's got that high K prop sitting up there at 8.5. So as you mentioned, Seattle is a decent park for pitching options. So yeah, I don't mind that one at all. But JP Sears, like I mentioned, would be my low owned guy, off the radar, punt down pitching guy that I'm looking at. I think you got a decent shot there to possibly get a quality start out of him over on FanDuel, maybe get you 6-7 Ks out of him. And hey, if he squeaks out a win, we're looking at a mid 40 burger for a guy that would definitely help you get some bats here that you like here today, because as we roll through here, I think there's a handful of spots here that might be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get right into bats. Yeah, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button helps us out a ton. Subscribe button helps us out a ton. If you want to join us at the Nation, another huge day, huge MLB slates. Of course, slate plan up. See our rankings. I was going to say ceiling rankings. That's NBA. That's still going on. I'll get there in a sec. Hitter rankings, stack rankings, pitcher rankings. Obviously, a great Discord. Cash. You're in the cash streets. We have a cash report by myself, GPP core report. If you want to see like Gyiraszin, Ham, Nades, Hoop, who they're on as well. NBA's going on. Not slow-mo. Brian trying to troll me, finally gave up. Hey, you got me in the beginning. I was like, I swear the Timberwolves don't play today. 2 NBA games, 100K in the showdown streets for the night game. So Rio will have a showdown slate plan for that. Check it out. It's absolutely crushed it. The normal slate plan's up for the 2-gamer. NBA, MLB, a lot of money to be made. you want to join us at The Nation, of course, golf this week. MMA has a week off. We still have NASCAR, NHL, Hoop 15. It gets you 15% off monthly, 6-month, or annual packages coming off a monster golf week for many. First game of the night, 7:07 Eastern lock time today. 10 games, again, probably 9 with White Sox and the Royals not looking great. Yankees, Blue Jays, 8.5 total. Carlos Rodon, UC Kikuchi on the mound. I mean, I just talked about it. I kind of like Kikuchi, but if I had to pick a side for bats in this game too, I would still prefer the Yankees because, I mean, they have the power. Judge, Stanton, Glaber, Volpe, like all of those guys at the top. Kikuchi, the left-hander, can't give up power. Solid pitcher, good case stuff, but if he's walking guys, he doesn't have his stuff. We've seen him get blown up bad. And Yankees guaranteed ninth inning at bats, low owned, and they have power bats. So if you play 20 lineups, I think you can play 4 or 5 with Kikuchi. They don't play Yankees. You can play 2 or 3 with the Yankees. That's enough to get overweight. And then you have both sides there. Yeah, that's how I do go about it. I don't like Rodon. I still don't love the Blue Jays on this slate, though. I'd rather go to the Yankees and the power bats, the power righties, mainly Judge, mainly Stanton. How do you see it?
Yeah, this one here, as far as like bats go, I think there's so many spots that I just didn't even really dive into it. I don't like either pitcher enough to roster them today. I thought, as we already went through, a couple good options here. Both these guys here are just guys that probably, I mean, they're going to be tougher to get blown up. Now, we've seen Kikuchi get blown up, Rondon, obviously, but both are on the 20% strikeout rate against lefties. So, I mean, there's just nothing really that stands out here for me in these, but you can always power, hunt with these teams. Toronto, obviously we've seen struggle a little bit here coming out the gate, but yeah, this one for me is just kind of a dud game here on a big slate we got. So I'm just going to pass on the bats and move on. But as I mentioned, I mean, maybe if you're MME and you could get deep and use Kikuchi, I do like his, his strikeout chances, his ability there against the Yankees, who do have a little bit higher K numbers, especially against, the top of that lineup. They're all, 23%, Volpe, Soto, 22, Judge, 25%. You get to the bottom of that lineup, though, there really isn't much to be had there with strikeout rates against the lefties. But, yeah, I just think I'll pass, man. We got enough here to talk about all kinds of good spots here moving forward. But, yeah, not for me.
All right, Brian, I'm going to put you in a timeout. It's your last warning, buddy. Slow-mo doesn't play tonight for the 15th millionth time. It was funny earlier, not now. Last one, Brian. Blue Jays for Nades. Okay, Rodon sucks. Or not good. But these Blue Jays have been awful, Gyiraszin. I know you don't like this game. I think a mini sack might be fine. Like, I was looking at it and debating it. But, like, all right, I want to play Vladdy. I want to play Bose. Like, the guys I want to play, you have to spend up for. And I'd rather spend up at pitching. So, yeah, I get it, though, Nades. Rodon definitely hasn't been good on either side of the plate. Both these pitchers can be hit around a bit. On this 9 game or this other games to target, I like more. But I do think it's an interesting low-owned spot on both sides, pitchers and hitters. Everything will be pretty low-owned in this game. Go stand in the corner, pal. Let's keep it rolling. Next game on the slate. Yeah. Hey, if you think so, I think it is a good spot to maybe get ahead of them at low ownership against Rodon that can get beat up if you are on the Blue Jays breaking out soon. Next game, very similar to the last one we just talked about. I mean, pretty much identical. Another 8.5 K prop. Guardians, Red Sox, Tanner Bibee, Garrett Whitlock on the mound. I always said Bibby. It looks cooler. It sounds cooler. But when I was watching, obviously listening to commentary, Bibee, even though I want to keep saying Bibby. 8.5 total. Guardians, Red Sox, 60 degrees. Yeah, I don't really have much in this one, Gyiraszin. Again, very similar to that last game. I'd rather both the Blue Jays and the Yankees over the Red Sox and the Guardians personally. I got nothing.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the Indians, I'm never going to play the Indians the rest of the season. They just don't have enough pop or power through that lineup for me to play on even a remotely normal slate. So never really going to be considering them. Not really good matchup here for the Red Sox here either. So I'm going to pass on this one. As you mentioned, there's not too many good options here, and I'm not really interested in either side of the pitching.
All right, well, I think you're going to say the same here. Pirates, Mets, 7.5 total. Jared Jones, your boy. Jose Quintana, not your boy, but another navigator. Still getting the job done at whatever age he is. I feel like he's been here forever, the southpaw, but not something I pick on much. I don't love New York's park. Yeah, 60 degrees, 65, nothing. What about you?
Yeah, the park isn't the greatest, as we know. I mean, but these Pirates been, shit, man. They've been hitting the ball, playing pretty well here, especially run out the gate, been winning a bunch of games. But
No Cruz. Thanks, Lance. The lineup just
yeah,
filled up.
I'm just not interested for me here today. I just not going there. I'm not going to play that park either, as you mentioned. There's a few parks that I obviously, as we talked about earlier, that you just try to avoid. Obviously Oakland, where Lance Lynn's going, is one of the tops. San Francisco is another. There's just a certain parks that just generally don't produce any kind of hitting conditions for us. So yeah, I'm going to skip out on the hits on the bats here today.
Let's just get Royals White Sox. Like there's no, I mean, with this weather,
it doesn't even, why not? We should have talked
even
about
if it was 50-50. Yeah, even if it was 50-50, like Roth or whoever's in for him now is like, yeah, maybe I still wouldn't take a chance on the bats. If they said 50-50, this game goes straight, I'd much rather take the chance on Singer than any of these stacks. So nothing for you.
Yeah, no thanks.
Pirates always start and they'll fall. Squid, that made me laugh. We've been talking about the Blue Jays for 3 years now. That is definitely true. It is also DFS, so they have had a couple days where they put out crooked numbers, winning people plenty of money. But, man, they have busted in good spots plenty at chalk. But they're not chalk today, so don't mind it.
Playing the Blue Jays like going to a tit bar. You just get teased and you throw your money away.
There you go. There you go. From Gyiraszin, the man himself. Next game, San Diego Padres, Milwaukee Brewers, Dylan Cease, Wade Miley on the mound. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep going to these spots. Maybe I do have a little more interest in these Blue Jays. Like, fade. I like Blue Jays and the Yankees more than the Brewers have been, playing phenomenal baseball. Dylan Cease isn't someone I love to pick on. Like, what? Brewers applied for a little under 4 runs today. I'm not going against Cease. I don't love Cease because of the 10-7 price tag. I will say FanDuel, though, 9.5K. I think he is interesting over there. And I don't think he's going to be – he still might be the 4th highest owned pitcher. People aren't going to want to attack these Brewers right now. But 7.5K props still up there with upside in GPPs. But, yeah, I'd rather Cease than the Brewers. Wade Miley, I don't know. Any White Sox? Any Padres for you with against Wade Miley?
I mean, it's interesting there. The Padres, they put up some runs yesterday. I mean, you look at it here, Wade Miley's strikeout rate against righties is low. It's like under 10%. The Padres really got some power on that right side. Obviously with Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, definitely like the top half of that. The Wobas are good. Tatis and Machado almost pretty close to 400. So definitely like that. I mean, if you wanted to go there, I mean, I don't mind. San Diego is, like a mini stack option. If you wanted to look at, something like that, I would probably put them in, maybe my 6th, 7th stack today, out of the 20 teams, they're definitely in the upper tier. I wouldn't put them in my, my favorite 5 like they are on my phone. I wouldn't do that, my fave 5. But I think, for me, they're just not up there, but definitely interesting. I think the Padres definitely interesting. Especially more of a mini. Them righties are interesting.
You like them more than either the Yankees or the Blue Jays?
I like the Padres a little more than the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Even though I disagree slightly. Yeah, you get guaranteed ninth inning at bats. Good hitting park. Wade Miley, not worried about him at all. The righties. Yeah, Machado crushes them. Tatis. Pretty much, even the bottom of the order should be very cheap. Like Rosario, if he's in the 9 hole at third base, 2-7, fills out a third base spot. Kim at shortstop. I don't think it's crazy. Campusano at catcher. I still prefer the Yankees, Blue Jays, but we just crossed off the last 6 teams. The White Sox
we're getting there. We're getting there.
I know we are. It's if you're up, if you're in first place today and it's 9 Eastern, 10 Eastern. Yeah, don't feel too good yet. There's some big boys coming later. So next game, one of the spots right here, 8:10 Eastern, Atlanta Braves, Houston Astros, Ronaldo Lopez, Hunter Brown on the mound, 9.5 total. Roof will be closed in Houston, I believe. Yeah, I'll throw it, I guess, right to you in this one. Again, 9.5 total. Both the Astros and the Braves applied for 4.8 runs, roughly. I do think the Braves side will be a little more popular. Ozzie Albies went to the IL. That is worth noting. The lineup should be a little cheaper. I'll throw it to you right away. I love the Braves. I'll tell you that. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. This lineup's amazing, and the bottom of the order should be cheap. Like Kelnick in there against a righty should be down there. Arcia might be in there. Michael Harris still somewhat sub 5K. Top of the order expensive. Always can play the bottom of the order, mix and match them, wrap around, etc. So yeah, touch on the Braves first, and then Astros are very interesting. Lopez kind of a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, this one here started out over under 10 when I saw it. It got bet down to 9.5, and I was thinking, what's happening here? You're like, why is that happening? I kind of thought when I saw the lines come out that one might get bumped up, but yeah, I think this one's interesting. When I heard the news about Albies, I was kind of a little disappointed there. I mean, that kind of sucks. I mean, he's definitely a big part of that lineup there, but man, you look at Hunter Brown, the hard hit rate is just high. I mean, he gives up a lot of hard hits. Not the team you want to be doing that to with the Braves coming into town. So definitely think that one there is interesting. As you mentioned, the stack's going to get, is the lineup dropped yet for them? Do you know, Title?
No, sorry. I was drinking water. I was on mute, all that. No, it has. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, all right. I just want to see, because I'm kind of just thinking in my mind what are they going to roll out? Guillermo like they did, or the guy yesterday? Probably, I would assume. They'll probably roll him out, put him in the bottom of that lineup. So maybe Kelenic gets bumped. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be, it'll be interesting. So I just kind of see how that shakes out.
Just the Astros lineup came out and nothing really new. Noah Abreu, there's Singleton, which is always nice. Yeah. That lineup's not out though. Astros, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and then you sit here and you look at Lopez. This guy walks a lot of guys. He's got a lot of high walk rate. I mean, his strikeout rate's there for sure. His hard hit rate is pretty high. I just think here you could see a game where it's a softball type game. And you look at, some of these numbers, there's a little stat like last 10 over unders of how they've been doing over unders. And a lot of times when I see two teams, it's like 7-3, the last matchup, the last games here for the Braves have gone over, and the Astros, the last 6 out of 10 have gone over. And generally in baseball, those numbers are rolling a little bit less than 50%. So, they're about 20% higher as far as playing overs. Both teams are. So I think that's definitely interesting. A softball type game. I kind of like that yesterday was a play that I made on one of my teams. Over on FanDuel, I game stacked that one over yesterday with cheap pitcher. So Brown yesterday, thought it might work out a little better than it did. Just didn't have any homers. Just didn't get all the way there. But yeah, I think this game here is definitely interesting. One of the higher over-unders we got game-wise on the slate. Just kind of looking here at Houston. I mean, I like the Brave side a lot more than I do the Houston side. Just kind of looking here at, some of these team stats here. Let me just see here the last 2 weeks. Let's see if I
will say, when you're looking at that, you can play like Acuna's. The Braves are definitely going to get ownership. GPPs, they always do. I think Acuna will be the highest owned. Can always play the Braves, leave off the highest owned, which usually is Acuna. And yeah, I mean, they're going against a righty too. So Olsen, it's not lefty. He'll still be relatively low owned at the price. Ozuna's up there. Austin Riley, like all these guys are expensive enough where the ownership should stay somewhat in check. Ronald Acuna always will be played. So I like stacking him out, leaving him out as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to look at team, the last 2 weeks, team stats. Both teams are in the top 5 of slugging percentage in MLB. Atlanta Braves sitting at 2, Houston sitting at 5. So the top team, Brewers, sitting as the top slugging team the last 2 weeks. So I like to play teams that are hot too. We're starting to see enough numbers here in the last few. We got, how many games, every game team's got, 10 to 13 games played. So, we've seen 2 weeks of baseball. So I kind of like to start to integrate those numbers with last year's numbers. So I'm going to start rolling with some of these teams that have been hitting in those last few weeks. You'll probably hear me starting to say these last 2 weeks, last 15 days, this guy's been doing this. But so, yeah, that's going to start coming into play. But, man, Braves obviously are always, they got an offense. They're always going to be at the top of slugging. But, I mean, they're getting it done right now. So definitely in play for me today.
At ownership, they might be my favorite on the slate. Like, obviously, it'd be the Dodgers. They're going to be popular. There's no doubt about that. Cubs, D-backs, I think both of them are going to, especially the Cubs, because they offer a lot more salary relief, and a lot of people want to pay up at pitcher. They're all going to get some ownership. But, yeah, I think Braves at ownership, probably my favorites. Love the guaranteed ninth inning at bat compared to other hitting weather on the slate. They're in the dome. But I do think the Astros, too, like you said. Now, I got a question for you quick. I like the Braves more because I feel better. Like if I just stacked 5 through 9, I'm fine with that for the Braves. Most teams I'm not fine with that. And I know I want to pay up at pitcher. Like, would you be fine doing that for the Astros? You're playing some bums down. No Abreu at least. You got Singleton in there. Diaz at the 5, Myers, McCormick, Pena's there. See, Pena in the 6 hole, Singleton 7. I think you can get away with it and double spend pitcher and game stack this game. What are your thoughts on that? Like the bottom of the orders.
Man, the bottom of that Houston lineup just don't have enough homers for me, especially on FanDuel. So, I mean, I think that it would be my concern. Like, I don't see too many guys that I think, maybe he could hit me. I'd be happy to hit me 1, let alone 2. So, I think that would be my concern. Like on the Braves, there are a few guys at the bottom that, could definitely potentially hit us, double dong. But I just, some of these Astro guys just aren't there for me. All the power is at the top of that Astro lineup with, obviously Altuve, you got, Alvarez, Tucker, Bregman, Diaz, that's pretty much where all the power is up there. So it's kind of hard to at least not have 1 or 2 of those guys in your stack. Maybe a wraparound I think would be, a little bit better, but obviously you said, those guys are way more expensive to play. And that's why I was kind of mentioning, I wasn't interested in like a Cease or anybody paying up high today, because there's too many good spots here today that you're going to want to stack up. And I think today's the day you're going to want to stack, because the teams that are going to put up some runs, there's too many pass here today where teams can put up a lot of runs. So for me, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about stacking, I'm going to want to stack. So yeah, today, I'm paying down and pitching today.
Fair enough. Let's keep it to the next game. Very quick here. Reds, Seattle, give me the pitchers. I ain't playing any of these bats. Is there anyone you can make a case for? Hunter Green, Logan Gilbert, both will get some ownership. Any one-offs, mini stack, something against the chalk pitcher that you can make a case for? I'll admit, I'm going to go to some of these Oakland guys, which we'll talk about next. I'll have Lance Lynn, Jones for the Mets, Hunter Green, and Gilbert, the 4 that are getting the most ownership. I like playing some of these Oakland bats the most. But again, on a 9-game slate, there's plenty of routes to go. You don't need to be forcing to play against a chalk pitcher. But yeah, anything in this one for you? Anyone else?
No, if you wanted to, that's where, if, these guys are going to be in the top, maybe all in the teens to 20% range as far as ownership. If you wanted leverage, you could throw in a guy. Steer's been hitting really well. Ellie Cruz has been hitting the ball pretty well for Cincinnati. I'm just not going there. Like you said, over under of a 7 on that game. We got too many options here today. Games up in the 10s, 9.5 range. So yeah, I'm not going that way.
I like it, Apone. The Braves, you can definitely stack. Braves, Dodgers.
Astros.
Maybe I guess. Astros, I guess, but I don't know if you'd be making money all the time on that. Maybe. That was the other one I was going to debate. But yeah, you definitely Braves, Dodgers, and yeah, you can probably throw in Astros. You play them every day because some days you'll get them very low owned, and they always have the opportunity to break the slate. Like them again for sure. Yeah, let's get to this Cardinals-Oakland game. Lance Lynn, JP Sears, 8 total. 65 degrees in Oakland. And yeah, I'll mention it. So you mentioned JP Sears. Man, these Cardinals have been bad. If I'm playing them, it's going to be Goldie, Wilson Contreras, Arenado, Herrera. Because you get Wilson or Herrera catcher spot. Goldie and Arenado against the lefty. I still don't love it though. Like 4.7K, 4.9K. Give me all those Braves that we talked about. Some of the Astros, etc. So I don't love St. Louis at all in this ballpark. I actually think I prefer a couple of the Oakland bats more, just because Lance Lynn's going to be one of the highest owned pitchers on both sides. Give me 2 through 5 right there. Giloff, Blade, Shea Langoliers, Seth Brown. 2 outfielders, which I don't love using the outfield spot. Giloff at second. Dude might be like 1% owned. 4.8K. Again, he bombs against Lynn. Definitely can get there. Shea, 3.2K. At catcher, I think is fine too. I want some power, 2 through 5 mainly. Lefties get to Lance Lynn a lot more than righties. So, yeah, maybe mainly Blade, Seth Brown. I guess Toro at third wouldn't be crazy either, but how do you see it?
Yeah, like you mentioned, JP Sears is the guy I'm going to be thinking about playing, especially as my low-price pitcher. So, Cardinals just been struggling all the way around as a team. Definitely not going to go there. Now, you did mention Oakland. Lance Lynn's the kind of guy. He's home run prone. He could give up a few bombs. It's just a shit park. Like if it was a road game, I think I'd feel a lot better about it. In Oakland, that's just some tough sailing, man.
If it was summer, if it was in St. Louis in summer and it was like 91 degrees, 92, like this Oakland team would probably have like a 4.5 team total or something.
Yeah,
be very
definitely.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely would have been better. It's just there's not too many, there's just too many boxes that aren't checked here for me. But I mean, you definitely, I mean, if you're MMEing and you want to throw in an A stack, I mean, if they put up some numbers here against them, I mean, you're going to be up at the top because Lance Lynn, in my opinion, especially on FanDuel, is probably going to be the highest owned pitcher here today.
Yeah, I agree. And he's going to be one of the highest on DraftKings too. I will say, maybe it makes a little more sense to go Oakland. I will say, I think it makes more sense to go Oakland stacks in a night slate. You still do have Gilbert, Hunter, Green that are going to get pitching ownership as well. It'll just be those three for Lynn, but you leave off some Jones ownership. So like you could see Lynn, Hunter, Green, Gilbert all be 50-something% owned, and you even get more leverage, and you have less stacks to compete with in a night slate at 4 games. So probably just be a one-off or a two-man mini stack. If I'm going Oakland on the main slate, I don't think it's crazy to get 3 or 4 though on a night slate. If Lance Lynn blows up, you have all the leverage in the world at low ownership. 2 games left, Gyiraszin. Everyone's been waiting. Like, well, who do these guys like for bats? Blah, blah, blah. These last 2 games are by far the best. Cubs, D-backs, and then Dodgers. 10.5 total for the D-backs and Cubs. 6 implied total over more for the Dodgers. So, again, don't feel you're in first place, winning whatever you're winning, and these games haven't started. Don't be too comfortable by any means. Cubs, D-backs, Kyle Hendricks, Tommy Henry on the mound. Again, 10.5 total. D-backs, slight favorites, apply for almost 5.5 runs. Cubs, a little over 5. I'll throw it right to you in this one. Kyle Hendricks, we talk about it, just navigates the game manager, definitely not overpowering stuff by any means. And then, these D-backs, Tommy Henry, the southpaw, not someone I'm very worried about either. I'm surprised he's made it this long in the big leagues. Like, he was a softer throwing guy out of Michigan when they went on that run. You're a Michigan guy. You probably knew that. Man, I was surprised to see him still competing, I guess, at this level. But, this game went late yesterday, the 12th inning or something? Does that do anything, I guess, for you the next day? And what do you see in this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorites. I think we saw Parabay there in the chat saying, Cubbies for all the money here today. So, I definitely think there we go. There you go. So I definitely think that one's interesting. Tommy Henry, this guy here just doesn't really strike in. About 13% strikeout rate to lefties, 18% to righties. I mean, these Cubbies been hitting the ball fairly well. And this is one of the games too. They'll start at 9.5. It got bet up a full run. I mean, it's up to 10.5. So
do you think that had anything to do with the bullpen? Like yesterday, they had to use more arms. The game went to extras, etc.
Yeah, I was going to say too. I mean, you just mentioned they went to extra innings. They used up a few of them. A lot of the bullpen. They may just leave some of these starters out there and make sure they get them 4 innings or so here today. So I think that is something definitely here to be considered. And I mean, I'm looking at this game. A lot of times when I see a game get bet up a run from its initial opening line, I mean, that's something to pay attention to. Definitely it's something that I like to look at. So definitely on the other side too, as you mentioned with Hendricks, that guy is just a navigator here. Another low strikeout pitcher here, 14%. I think there's going to be a lot of bats put in play, a lot of balls put in play here today. As you mentioned, did you say for the roof was
open? Roof's open.
Yeah, I mean, it's
beautiful
it's
here.
The warmest game on the slate.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
I mean, it's perfect hitting weather. I mean, this is what we want. We got 2 pitchers on the hill that aren't going to miss any kind of bats. We got 2 good offenses. I think this game here could be a softball game. That we might see a lot of runs being scored. I actually like the over, even though it was 10.5. I already bet it earlier here today. So definitely like this game here for bats.
Yeah, I mean, we're still looking at like 82 degrees at game time. It's going to be balls will be flying. Beautiful. I mean,
balls
pitchers
in the pool.
In
the pool, in the hot tub.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, back there. Bullpen got used a little bit. 2 pitchers that don't strike out many bats. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. So, all right, I'm going to say we're going to go to the Dodgers game. But if you had to rank Braves, Astros, Cubs, D-backs, Dodgers, five of them, where are you going?
Cubs, Astros, D-backs. I'm going to go Dodgers 1 because, as you mentioned, Corbin Carroll's the gift that just always keeps on giving.
Patrick Corbin, he meant, but yes.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin. I'm sorry. I said Carroll because I was
know.
I was thinking about
just so the people knew.
The D-backs. And then I'm going to go with the Braves. I think the Braves right behind them. And then I do like both offenses in this game here, the Arizona and the Cubs. I think they're top tier. I think Houston's up there as well. So we got 2 games offenses and then the Dodgers. I think all 5 of them are A offenses here today. I think the Dodgers are a little bit, maybe the A+ offense for me, but the other 2 are A's. But I think you can go either of the way with the 5. I thought that's why today I thought was an interesting slate. Like you can go either way. And if you want to throw a low on stack, like, Padres, if you wanted to go there,
or the Yankees game stack,
maybe, you wanted to go, Brewers, you wanted to go Nats, Pirates, go Yankees, Red Sox, somewhere around there, you could mix in them in a stack here today. But that's why I was saying I wanted to pay down a little bit at pitching today. I think all the bats you're going to need here are going to be a little bit expensive stacks. They're all in decent, pretty spots. And that's why I said, I think today's the way you got to stack it up here today. So I think you're going to see maybe I think you'll see a handful of games get up there, maybe 7, 8, 10 runs. That's what I'm thinking today.
No, I agree. There's still enough at all these orders. The bottom of the order still has enough cheap bats. I think you can go expensive pitching on DraftKings, mix in like these expensive pitchers are still under 10K. Like we were paying 12K for Strider and jamming and stuff last year. So yeah. But as far as the low owned, I think it's the Padres and the Yankees Toronto game stack outside of these chalky ones, at least for myself. Game stack with D-backs Cubs, 100%. Not a contrarian take by any means, but definitely can do it. You can always get different in there. Hey, happy birthday, Greggs. Hey, there he is right there. Happy birthday, Greggs. Hope you have an awesome
Cheers.
day.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Cheers with no drink. Actually, I heard that's bad mojo. I won't do that. Can we all agree MLB DFS is better than football and basketball? I won't agree, but whatever makes me the most money. Gyiraszin agreed. Whatever makes me the most money. I agree too,
because it's like this is the one sport where projections do help, and a lot of times they do help and guide you in the right way. But it's baseball. Like the best matchup pitcher, like yesterday, get his ass kicked. I mean, that's what kind of makes it fun. I mean, it's almost like Hold'em. Like I tell my buddies, baseball's like Hold'em, but the aces don't always win. Like you get 2 aces, like you see more.
They don't always win, Gyiraszin, trust me.
Break up your hand. Like NBA is like, especially playoffs in the NBA. Man, it's just so kind of easy to predict. I mean, that's why
all I'll say is I've been in the poker streets pretty heavy as of late with life slowing down a bit. Aces don't always hold, man. I feel like more times than not, they don't hold anymore. But yeah, the variance you have to embrace. NBA tonight, like AD's not going to get you 30 points or 20 points unless he gets hurt. Mike Trout can go 0 for 4 any single day and you're not surprised. You just have to embrace the variance. There's no doubt about that. It's a completely different game than NFL, than NBA in terms of DFS. Yeah, have fun with it for sure. What I do like the most about it, I don't got to worry about sitting on my computer until 8 o'clock at night. If you're in the East Coast, 11 o'clock, etc. Like I'm very happy that time is over for the NBA season.
PGA DFS, though, I got to say. So title, after the first day, I was winning like 111,000 or something, and I was like, of all the fucking days I played DFS, the one day I got the mother load and I got to go 3 more effing days. I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like no other sport goes 4 fucking days. I was like, man, I hit the fucking nuts on the first day. I think my worst guy was in like 15th place. I only played 2 teams. I was like in 10th in the Millie Maker. I was like, why in the flip I was like, oh. So yeah, the golf DFS, man, it's like, like you just because you it's so fucking long.
You won't want this. You won't want this. During the pandemic, I was second, I think, for 100K. It was 200K or 100K. I ended up losing like $800 on the last lap. It was Daytona. It was the restart, all that. But there's nothing worse. 199 out of 200 or something. That last one, you go from winning all the cheese to losing the cheese.
And yes, Murray line, you were right. I was pissed I didn't put my lineup in the showdown because I would have stinking crushed it. But, Wednesday night I was a little trash that night. So I listened to that D-Gen podcast that had me all worked up. I just put in a few, my lineups that I had already locked in, and I could have done
Hey, we're getting that money back right here. Nats, Dodgers, Patrick Corbin, Ryan Yarbrough will be the long reliever, it looks like. I think they're going to have an opener for an inning and then do what they've done with Yarbrough. Over 6 implied total for these Dodgers. They're going to be chalky. There's no doubt about that. The bottom of the order should have enough cheap bats. Like if Andy Pages gets in there, min price 2K, he's going to be popular. Like, that is why if Miguel Rojas is all the way down there third or 3.3K at short, Kiki Hernandez at 2.9K, like Muncy's not 5, Will Smith is under 5. You can play these Dodgers without breaking the bank and pay up for pitching, and it's not that hard to do. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to be popular, though. So it's how do you play them? Maybe you – like if you go Cease Dodgers, like some of these bottom of the order, you play them – like that's a combination. Very few will have it all. That's the stuff I try and think about in baseball and stuff. Because, yeah, like Lance Lynn, Jones, and Dodgers 5-man, people are going to play that. So, yeah, how are you playing the Dodgers? How do you think you can get different, et cetera, with this team? And then any bats for you, anything.
Dodgers are definitely interesting now. You got to, like last night, I had some Dodgers, and you go Kiki and Chris Taylor, and then all of a sudden, the end of the game, here comes Gavin Lux, and they get pinch hit. I mean, that's like, the worst. So that's definitely in play. I think, the top of the lineup, they don't ever get pinch hit, all the way from Will Smith. So that doesn't come into play here. But I mean, who better to play than Mookie? I mean, Mookie's the most fun guy to play in all of DFS. That's my favorite. Obviously, if you listen to me, follow me, I always love to play me some Mookie Betts. I mean, the dude's WOBA 448 against the lefties. I mean, this guy just absolutely smashes. Corbin Carroll can't keep the ball on the ground. I mean, this guy sucks. I mean, I think he sucks. So Corbin Carroll, I keep calling him Corbin Carroll, Patrick Corbin, whatever. I say Corbin. How many assholes have a name Corbin, Carroll, Corbin, whatever.
Should I name my first kid Corbin? You like that name?
Well, I mean, if you name your first kid, then that's nice.
Yeah, I'll play for
you. I got you name, something like Huck or something like from fishing.
No, I'm not. You know what I actually did want was Zed. I want my kid name to be Zed, but the wife shot that one out instantly. I think Zed's a dope name.
Zed?
I don't know how we got on that, but yeah. All right, back to these Dodgers.
I mean, hey, we said we fuck up names all the time, I mean, and I screwed up 2 easy ones. Those are like American names, and I screwed those up. That's just
I wasn't even to correct you. He was like, hold up now. I was just going to let it keep going.
You might as well. I mean, you all know what I mean.
Paper champs again, the Dodgers. Too early in the year to know all that. So what do you 5-man in it? It's like you said you're paying down that pitcher, but if you're playing Lance Lynn on FanDuel, like you still can't be that. Like you need to get some low on bats in there. So like, how do you plan on doing that? Or do you think if you play the Dodgers, you need to at least not play one of those 4 pitchers, or you need to do a low mini stack like a Yankees,
like JP Sears kind of. I was talking about me some JP Sears. So JP Sears is probably going to be on some of them, Dodger lineups just because they are so expensive. And it just worries me. I mean, I got burned last night. I was literally sitting on a cash line with my FanDuel team last night and I had a Braves and Dodger stack with Brown last night as my pitcher. I thought, man, this Brown's getting me man. All I needed was the big inning from the Braves at the end. Dodgers sitting there in the captain's chair at the end of the game to bring it home for me. And how many times Ohtani stole a bag at the end, and then all of a sudden I'm watching Taylor pinch hit, Kiki pinch hit. I was ready to sing, Kiki, do you love me? Give me a hit, so give me some money. And that fucker didn't. He got pinch hit one after another, and I was like screaming all the way from Michigan out to, hey, you fuckers, let my guys hit, But, hey, we're attacking at the beginning part of this game, right? Like Patrick Corbin, we're trying to go after him. So those guys are going to be in at the beginning. I wouldn't double stack them. I'd probably only use one of those guys, try to limit myself on that. If I could, maybe use one, and maybe that's where you use a one-off too. Like maybe you could 3-man stack of Dodgers and go, elsewhere too. So the Dodgers are expensive up at the top, obviously, but definitely love this spot here today. All them righties. I love the righties here.
Lefties too.
I mean, Freddie Freeman, as far as lefties goes, hits lefties better than pretty much any other lefty. So, I mean, Freeman's still got the power. So definitely don't mind that. But, man, Mookie, it stands out. Smith stands out for me. You can even look at Teoscar. You could go there too. So Teoscar might be an interesting play too in that lineup, today. So might be a guy that might make a lot of stacks because he's going to help level that off. You go Mookie, Teoscar, maybe Will Smith, and you throw in a Kiki or a Taylor if you wanted to go there. But, yeah, definitely love the Dodgers here today. My favorite stack by far.
I like it. And again, I do think Andy Pages will be in the lineup. He's in the projected lineup. I'm saying if that's the case, he's min price at 2K. I like playing the Dodgers without Andy Pages in some tournaments. Like if you could try and go, whoever's in the 9 hole, like it's Rojas or something. Kiki Hernandez will be. I know you're talking pitch hit, all that. He could be like a 4th of the ownership, a 5th of the ownership as his Pages guy at 2K. Like I think getting away from very obvious chalk spots. We talked about it a little bit with Jackson Holiday, when he got called up at 2K. Then all the shortstop, Volpe's was there, and like shortstop is so saturated. Outfield with so many positions. If Pages in the lineup at 2K, he's going to be popular. Donkey chalk indeed. That is 100% what D-Gen would say there. So I'm not saying you can't play him. Just, I guess, know if you have other low-owned spots, or that is a way to get different right there. Appreciate that, P. Young. Hopefully you have a great day. Michael W., we appreciate that as well. That's all 10 games. Again, pretty much 9. White Sox. KC, we're pretending does not exist. 7:07 Eastern lock time on both sites. No weather outside of that one to worry about. Awesome stuff as always, Gyiraszin. Any final words for the people?
Hey, it should be a fun one. Good luck. Let's smash. Let's keep this hot streak going we got here at SHIPIT Nation with them logos up at the top of them tournaments on both sites. So let's keep it rolling here. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully we see us there at the top in the winner's circle here tonight. And hey, we'll be back here tomorrow to talk some more baseball here, Title. So definitely looking forward to that as well. So, hey, let's get ready, celebrate, crack us another high noon. After I get off here, I'm going to go have me a little safety meeting out in the safety meeting zone. I'm going to hone in on my teams, stack them up. I actually think I'm going to probably play a little bit more teams here today, Title, just because I think there's so many good spots. Normally, sometimes 1, 2, 3. I might even go a little 4 here today to mix them up. But I like some Cubs and Dodgers. That stands out to me here today. I think you can get a nice pitcher up there with the Cubs and Dodgers stack. I think that's what stands out for me. That's the tip of the day for me. So let's go have some more fun here tonight, Title. Drink some more high noons, and let's ship some cash.
After some more high noons and after some more safety meetings, you might be having 20 teams in there at the end of the night. Who knows about who knows? Gyiraszin on the slate plan. Definitely go check that out. I saw multiple people hop in the Discord. Get a subscription over here throughout the show. And if you do want to join, you want to get the Discord. If you just want MLB, here's the MLB product, weekly, monthly, season long, to make the prices even cheaper for monthly and season. MLB 15 will get you 15% off those packages. All the sports, though, Hoop 15 will get you monthly, 6-month, annual, $69 a month, goes down to $58 a month with the promo code. $59 a month goes down to about $50 for the 6-month, and annual, $49 a month to about $42. If you want to try us for weekly, no promo code there, no Discord, $24 a week, all sports, though. Can't beat that deal. And, of course, shout out to our sponsor, 4D, for sponsoring this MLB show. If you haven't checked them out, if you're a SHIPIT Nation member and you have not tried your first free 1 week there, I mean, again, it's totally free. Tommy G, Scarface, Healy, all the guys over there been in the betting game and the DFS game for that matter for a long time, not just giving picks. They obviously do that. They try and teach like we do over here. They have an education, a process at 4Deep. If you want to give it a try, again, all SHIPIT members, you do get a free week. Make sure to check that out. Otherwise, use the promo code SHIPIT. It'll get you 20% off any membership. Head over to 4Deep and use that right there, shipitnation.com/4Deep. Make sure to use that link. It'll take you right there. Shout out to them for the sponsor on the show. Shout out to all you guys that hung out with us. We appreciate it very much. Greg, you have a great birthday, my man. Everyone else out there, let's ship something. Let's ship something big. Gyiraszin and I will be back tomorrow for Gyiraszin on Titletown. Be safe. Good luck. Have a good night.